Is it going?
I think we're going. Yep, there we go.
I like when it starts naturally, you know? You don't talk
on the record.
You don't talk about recording, you just hit it.
Hit the recording talk.
Okay. We look good?
I think we look good. I'm going to turn you down just a bit. Once we get moving, we'll have to adjust this, but...
Yeah. What do we think?
I think it's good. If you want to put your shoulder...
You want me to look like this or like this?
Other shoulder. There you go. Yeah.
Sorry?
Scoot your chair up. There we go. That's better.
All right.
Here we are.
Okay, it was a long day today, eh?
Yeah, a pretty long day, but I was like looking forward to the first episode today.
Oh my god.
So.
I started work at 2 p.m. and from waking up at like 7 this morning, I was like, man, just got to get through that shift and we can like hit the record. I know you'd have the set going. Set looks awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Got my notes set this morning. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I saw you were adding into the doc there for a bit, and I was like, damn, I got to add into this thing before I finish work.
Well, look, we got a lot to talk about today. First episode. I don't want to berate anybody, but I guess introductions are in order. It's episode 1. I guess you can go first. You want to tell us who you are?
First?
Sure, you just tell us who you are.
You're mic 1. All right. I'm Ian Duchesne. I've been friends with Connor for a while. We met in college, actually. And we moved in together not too long ago. And we said, hey, let's start a podcast because...
Because we're two white men.
I guess so.
And people got to listen to us talk.
That's right. And people want to hear us talk. So.
Of course.
So, I kind of got the mics and the set got up, and it's actually Connor's idea to get us moving here. So.
Oh yeah, we're full steam ahead right now. As Ian said, I'm Connor. We met Ian during a broadcast school. We're both in news. We're both in up-to-date current pop culture stuff. So we thought it'd be a good idea to talk about stuff that's going on, and we keep up to date with stuff. We have good conversations, so maybe you guys want to hear it.
Yeah.
What do you want to get into first? You want to start sports?
I mean, I haven't seen you all day.
I know.
How was your day? You got home pretty late today.
Jeez, man. The buses. So, you were saying, when I got back, first thing you said was, got back a bit late. I thought the buses were going to be quicker. My commute was 1 hour long. They, for some reason, send buses less frequently, later at night. More people on the bus, smaller buses, just ridiculous. I have these people screaming, these 3 girls yelling on the bus, taking selfies on the bus, as if the bus is a reason to take a picture of yourself.
What do you caption that? Like, what do you post? What do you put under that on your Instagram?
Hashtag late for wherever I'm trying to go because I'm on the public transit system or something like that. I don't know.
I don't think I've been on time at all this week.
No.
Because I've been leaving late this week. I woke up late this morning, so I got off to a late start.
On purpose?
A little bit on purpose. Like, I hit the snooze. My problem is that I have the automatic alarm that goes on. But if I find that I need another one, I'll turn a second one on manually. And if I forget to do that, sometimes the automatic one just doesn't wake me up. And I guess I shut it off when I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah, I used to have that issue a lot. Real quick, I'm very particular with stuff like that. I set 4 alarms across 2 devices. So I have 2 alarms on my iPad here, 2 alarms on my phone. And I don't want to miss anything.
I don't know how you do that.
I don't want to get up late. I want to get up when I want to get up.
You put your phone on the other side of your room.
I do that. Yeah. It's smart.
Oh, I can't do that. Jeez. I gotta have it right next to me, and I'm usually pretty good, but this week not been good. Not at all.
Have you been busy?
Yeah, work's been really busy, taking on a lot of projects. So work's been really busy. I worked a double the other day, and I'm working a double tomorrow, double shift.
The Tim Hortons classic, the double.
Exactly. I would never drink that, but
you don't like sugar coffee?
No, I don't. I think I drank that in like the beginning of high school.
Yeah, I think I did too.
Like after I came off the French vanilla train, and then I jumped onto the double, and then ever since then it was just the less sugar the better.
The more black.
Yes,
you can't
correct.
go back.
Correct.
Of course.
You got it. So.
Jeez.
So yeah, well, we got a pretty busy sports weekend going into it. So
just for context, it is a bit later in the week right now. So we've had time to ruminate over the goings on of last weekend. There's a big weekend coming up too for some sports. I'd like to get hockey over with.
Okay, let's
because
you start us off then with hockey.
Look. I don't want to just divulge where we live immediately,
Okay.
but the Ottawa Senators made a big trade today.
I saw that.
And I work in news, and it was our top story for the whole afternoon, basically. Ottawa Senators acquiring Alex DeBrincat from Chicago Blackhawks, 2-time 40-goal scorer,
Big trade.
all-star, in this blockbuster deal where we gave away 3 whole picks. Wow.
They're later picks.
Our seventh overall pick, that's pretty good, but we were trying to get rid of that pick anyway. Not get rid of it, but, we don't need it.
You can use it.
Like, somebody else can use it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm for it. If you can get somebody that's developed and has proven themselves to actually be in the league, wouldn't you take that over, like, somebody fresh and you got to hope they pan out properly?
Yes, especially when you're a team like Ottawa who's already been through the rebuild. Last year they said the rebuild's over. They said we're going to be winning games this year. It's not about building, it's about winning. And that didn't happen at all, and we sucked.
Of course.
Naturally. So we want to win now. We don't need a 7th overall pick that might be good.
No.
But really the big story from the draft, I don't know if you saw.
It depends what you're going to say.
But Shane Wright.
What? I turned it on because I was like, Canadian boy in a Canadian city in Montreal, actually the Canadian city for hockey, and slides down to 4th.
Crazy. Seattle Kraken, it seems like one of those NHL rigged situations where they really want their new team to have a really good player. So they figured, Montreal, you don't really want this guy. This guy sucks.
Who do you think's talking? You got Bettman talking in his ear going, you don't want this.
Bettman doesn't know what he's doing.
You don't want this. I know what I want. You don't want this.
Jeez. Okay, there's a lot of other stuff going on. My God. So I had in my notes, did the Sens... I wrote these notes this morning.
Okay.
And I had in my notes, did the Sens trade their pick?
Okay.
They absolutely did.
Absolutely.
Anything else? Any crazy stuff happened today? Georgiev got traded to the Avs from the Rangers. So he was the backup on the Rangers behind Shesterkin, who was nominated for... he won the Vezina, nominated for Hart MVP in the league, and Georgiev, whatever, he obviously didn't like being that 1B. He didn't want to be that backup player, backup goalie on the team, so he wanted out of New York, and that's fine. Where he went, though, was shocking, because he ends up on the Avalanche, who just won the Cup. Who have a goalie, Darcy Kemper, that they went out of their way to acquire last offseason. Mm-hmm. They went out of their way to get him from Arizona. He brought them to the finals. They won. And I mean, he wasn't their star. He wasn't up for MVP the playoffs or anything like that. But he did a great job.
I mean, he held his own.
And he wants out.
Can you blame him?
He wants out from the Avalanche?
Can you blame? Yeah, but it's hard. You definitely want to be your own star, don't you?
Wait. Are you talking Georgiev right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. No, you can't blame him.
Yeah,
no.
You definitely want to do that. So.
No, that's it. It's you got to be selfish in sports sometimes. You got to bet on yourself and do things that are best for you sometimes. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, I don't want to jump too quick to Carlos Sainz.
let's get through hockey and we'll jump over.
Okay, let me check my notes here. What else happened? So, I don't know if you followed the whole 7th overall pick conundrum that happened for the Sens, but we tried trading Matt Murray last night to the Buffalo Sabres with that 7th overall pick, so we could dump him because we don't want that guy.
But for what?
I don't know, nothing.
It didn't matter.
We just want to get rid of Matt Murray because he's a lot of money. He's $6-something million, and apparently he sucks.
He's lazy.
He's lazy.
He's a lazy guy. You know what I mean?
No, he's still young, though.
Oh, you do great in Pittsburgh and then you come over, whatever.
When you think it doesn't matter, you stop trying.
Exactly.
That's what I hear.
He just sits in net and hope the pucks hits him. So.
But we tried trading him to Buffalo. Turns out, as Ottawa doesn't do their research, he's got a no trade to Buffalo. So
They tried to trade him to Buffalo, and then they were like, "Oh wait, guys, we forgot to read the fine print. He can't go to Buffalo. Throw it in the garbage."
Well, not exactly, but they were talking with Buffalo, and then it was like, "Oh, he can't go to Buffalo."
That's an oversight.
That is an oversight,
Well,
but
smite.
it ended up with them keeping that 7th overall pick and getting DeBrincat.
We'll take that.
We'll
I
definitely
will
take
not
that.
complain about that. Hey, the rebuild.
Is over.
The rebuild is over.
We're in the money.
Sure.
Stanley Cup on the way.
I'll believe it when I see it, though, unfortunately, with this Senators team.
No, that makes sense.
I need to see it. Hey, but their arena got approved, well, to a degree. The area where they're going to build. So, next couple years.
High hopes.
But we've been hearing that for the last couple of years.
Definitely. Well, okay. Other than Sens news, Kirby Dach was traded from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He was traded to Montreal, which is basically, in my eyes, solidifying the rebuild for Chicago. They get rid of Kirby Dach, who's, he's young, but I guess he injury prone after, I don't even want to get into the World Juniors with Kirby Dach, but after that whole situation, he's going to Montreal. Montreal is on the up and up, according to them. And he was traded to Montreal from Chicago for a 13th and 66th overall pick today.
Okay.
Which is like, okay.
Right.
I mean, you get some guys from that.
Sure. It wasn't like a useless trade.
No,
Sure.
not a useless trade. There's also NHL free agency coming up on July 13th. So there's big stuff going on there.
That's way sooner than I expected.
Super
I
soon.
haven't looked at the calendar, so.
I wrote out a list of players this morning that were yet to be signed, and a couple of them have signed since then. Like Chris Letang signed today.
Okay.
6 years. Whoa. What did I write here? Am I going crazy? Oh, I'm thinking of something else. But 6 years, $6.1 million for Chris Letang. Is that correct or am I crazy?
I haven't seen it, but somebody will correct you.
Like, I wrote it down, so it's definitely right.
Okay.
But
okay, sure.
the other big name, like free agent on Pittsburgh, Evgeny Malkin, tweeted out right after that saying, "I hope I don't have to play against you next year."
What does that mean?
Exactly.
Where's the underlying there?
So
I hate when they do that. Get off Twitter. Like, they always go to Twitter and drop little hints. Okay, great, cool. I don't care.
just do something.
Just do it.
You know what I
We
mean?
will react accordingly. I don't care about your misleading tweets.
I agree.
I find athletes have the whole Twitter thing a little too much. That might be a hot take. I get that because you want to, keep up with them. But just, business is business, and then you can have fun with social media after. But I don't care.
It bleeds over, right?
Yeah, whatever.
But then what else happened today? Marc-Andre Fleury, who's a big... he was unsigned, and people were wondering, is he going to play? He got offers to play in Washington before he signed with the Wild, and I think this is a great deal. He signed 2 years, $3.5 million a year with the Wild, and I think that's good because the Wild, they got Cam Talbot, but they need like a bona fide starter, and they need someone reliable in net. These next 2 years are going to be big for them because they made a bit of a splash in the playoffs this year, but the next 2 years are going to be big for them. Like Kirill Kaprizov, the Thrill Kirill, is in his prime. Mm-hmm. The second best player with the nickname Thrill after Phil.
Okay.
And it's gonna, if you know what I mean.
I get it.
If you follow, and it's going to be a big couple of years for the Wild, and I think that's a good deal. Like, yeah.
Well, the Wild's in a weird spot because they kind of got a weird combination of players and their contracts too. Like, if they got a couple years to kind of show up. And if they don't, it'll be hard to keep that team together, I think.
With the Suter,
yeah,
with the Suter and Parise situation they got going on, like, they're not going to have a lot of money to spend very soon.
No, you got to show up right now, or else you'll be in a tough position to keep that team together and try and make something happen after, 3 years?
Yeah.
3 seasons, so.
They have a goalie. That's good. Team that does not have a goalie, real quick. I got two more things to blow through.
Go ahead.
No goalie, Toronto. Okay.
Who cares again?
How does this affect? You got to ask this every time you bring up any topic involving hockey. How does this affect the Toronto Maple Leafs? The Leafs lost Mrazek today.
Yep.
Which is good.
They wanted to do that.
They wanted to do
was
that.
On purpose, yeah.
Which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna lose Jack Campbell. They can't pay for him.
I wouldn't say they can't pay for him.
They're not gonna pay for him.
They could move some salary around.
They're not gonna pay for him.
No, you don't think so?
No. And the Oilers want him. And I think that's a good spot for him.
Now that team has everything. I don't want to say everything but a goalie, because Mike Smith showed up every now and then in the playoffs. Like, he held his own. Like, there were some games he took plus 40 shots on net, didn't he? So he showed up pretty good. But those couple games he didn't show up.
It hurt.
It hurt, and it cost them.
And he's old.
Yeah, he's old.
And he's done.
He had a good run, yeah.
He's done.
He had a good run. We'll let him coast off into the sunset. He had a good run. Unfortunately, no ring. But
that's fine.
Yeah.
He's an old man.
That's all right. But Campbell, that'd be a good spot for him.
That would be, and yeah,
I'm okay with that.
He's gonna command a good amount of money for his next contract. Okay, 2 more things real quick for hockey. Blow through them quick. I saw a vote for, I think there was over 7,000 people voted in this. Worst NHL fans. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a big miss in these top 3, but number 1, Toronto, which is obvious. Like, yeah.
They're winning the cup this year. Every Toronto fan says, we're winning the cup this year.
I heard a double, I'm not going to say who predicted it, but I heard a prediction that Toronto will win the next 2 cups in a row. And it's like, buddy, get him out of the first round first. Okay?
Who said that? I need to know who said that. Gotta go talk to them.
No.
You gotta win a series.
Yeah.
That's step number 1. You gotta win the series, and they just can't do that.
But number 1, first voted worst NHL fan base, Toronto. Number 2, New York Rangers.
That's weird.
I mean, they're a big market. So
I don't know if I've ever. Well, I've been to Leaf games. I've never been to a New York game, so I don't know what would qualify them to be in that position. But
have you ever met anyone from New York?
Yes, but I've met a lot of Giants fans from like NFL.
Oh yeah,
and I can see how that would cross over into hockey and not be great. So. And
then number 3 is my least favorite fans, Montreal.
Why don't you like Montreal?
I'm a Sens fan and I'm a Bruins fan.
Oh, I did forget you're a Bruins fan.
So Montreal does not mix. I got a Bruins stick back here. Anyways,
that's right.
Bruins stick on the set. Okay, and so yeah, I was surprised that Philly wasn't higher up. I think Philly was pretty low, but Philly sports fans are the worst.
Philly in general,
just in general.
Broad? Yeah, that's just overall blanket sports.
Definitely.
And then I see you added GM of the year.
Yeah. Last point on hockey. Joe Sakic won GM of the year. I think it's the only trophy that they give out after the playoffs, which I guess makes sense because you want your team to be able to like withstand all the craziness of the playoffs, and they won the cup. Good for them.
That's a big thing for a GM though, to get through the playoffs. Like you can have a great team. I mean, look at the Leafs. You can have a great team up until the playoffs and then fall apart. So
exactly.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, good for the Colorado Avalanche. Bringing the cup back to Colorado.
Yeah,
that'll be fun, and they could have a good team for a couple of years. Like
start of a dynasty.
They could run this for a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I had Tampa Bay because I wanted to see a three-peat so bad. We didn't get there, so let's go Colorado. 3-peat, I guess. All
right, two more years and Colorado got it.
That's it. So, yeah, lots of hockey. And then, hockey is going to be crazy for the next couple days.
Yeah.
It'll just be crazy. And then you go right into the trade.
Free agency opens up. Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be quite the busy NHL schedule for any hockey fans and any insiders because, football's starting to ramp up, but not quite yet. Couple big things in football.
What's going on?
Couple big things in football. So if you haven't already heard, Baker Mayfield to Carolina, out of Cleveland. Good for him. Get out of Cleveland. I was a big Baker Mayfield fan when he came out of college. I bought a jersey.
You bought a jersey?
I bought a Cleveland Browns jersey. I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan, but I was so in on the Baker Mayfield train. And then he doesn't play bad. Has a couple bad things off the field, on the field, sure, whatever. And then he gets painted as this villain of guy can't play football, plays through injuries. Sure. Does he handle himself the best? Not at all. Is he better than a lot of quarterbacks that have starting jobs right now? Absolutely. I don't know how he did that. So he gets traded to Carolina for a 2024 conditional. This could be 4th round or 5th round conditional. And then his salary is going to be split between Cleveland and Carolina, each paying, I think it was like 9.8 mil. I think that's what it is. And then we got to love the NFL. They did us a favor. Carolina opens with the Cleveland Browns at home.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that's their first game. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's accurate. So thank you, NFL, for just making everything better.
For just stirring it up.
Yeah, like, thanks so much. And I'm really surprised because Carolina now has got to figure something out because...
yeah, I was going to say, what does he have to work with in Carolina?
Well, he's got Robbie Anderson, I'm pretty sure, still. So he's got something there. But Carolina's on this weird thing of let's just keep switching QBs until we find when that works. I don't know if that's the best way to handle things. I mean, I'm not a NFL coach, so I can't say much. But yeah, that's gonna... It'll be tough to him to get in there, but I do think I saw there was a line of him winning more than 6 games this year. That was like the betting line, and I will take that over for sure. I think he's gonna have 7, maybe 8 wins. I think he comes to play. He's got a little chip on his shoulder. But again, I'm biased. I love Baker Mayfield. I love his attitude.
Put the money down.
Let's do it. Let's just do it. And then switching, we go over to the Commanders.
Oh, new team.
Terrible name.
Terrible name.
Terrible name. And then the Commanders got a lot of front office situation going on with their owner. We don't got to get into all that, but they got a lot going on. But I was worried that Scary Terry was not coming back with Carson Wentz, and that would have hurt for Carson because he couldn't play well in Indianapolis with a great roster. Going to the Commanders, losing Terry McLaurin, that would have been tough. But he signs 3 years extension for $71 million. I'm pretty sure there could be more to that, obviously, what the max would be, but I'm pretty sure 71 mil.
Wow.
To base. And I was like, hey, good for him. Get paid, buddy. Get paid. So that's very nice. But then that leaves the Browns with like no QB. They got Deshaun going into maybe suspension. Who knows what's going on there. And you just got rid of Baker. So that leaves you with no QB. So way to go to the Browns for figuring out a way to make themselves bad again. Don't know how you do that, but you did it. But Jimmy G is rumored to be on the radar for a couple teams, like including the Texans, maybe the Browns.
The Steelers?
The Steelers maybe, but the Steelers drafted a QB.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
But
he's got small hands, though.
Small.
I guess that decides how you are as an NFL QB. So, lots going on there. And then Aaron Rodgers, back in the media for the first time in a while, did a short interview on the Pat McAfee show, and he says he was very happy with Christian Watson as a development and in OTAs. So, as a Packers fan, I'm going to disclaim that now. I'm pumped. Because I am sick and tired of the Devontae Adams chatter and everything. Oh, he can't win without him. So let's go out there. Let's win another MVP. Let's just do it. And then we'll put everybody behind us and we'll go for it. I'm not saying you got to win all the way, but let's have a good year and just make everybody stop talking.
We can hope this year it's a deserved MVP.
Oh, what does that mean?
I don't know. I read Twitter. I don't know.
I read Twitter. All right. Yeah, and then I guess this is NFL news. I guess Le'Veon Bell will be boxing Adrian Peterson at the end of the month in July.
Is it on like a card with like other fighters? Do you know?
I didn't see that, but I'm gonna guess it's a celebrity matchup. So,
are they the main event?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do believe they're fighting in heavyweight. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's heavyweight. So I don't know what happened to Le'Veon Bell. Like, it's not like his career ended. Like, Adrian Peterson had a career and, kind of phased out, but he still had a career. And then Le'Veon Bell just kind of dropped off. Went to the Jets, didn't perform very well, and I guess that's it.
Now he wants to fight.
And now he's going to make money trying to box. So, good for him. Make your money. Do what you got to do. I don't know if I'll watch that fight. I probably will. But
I don't know. There's better fights to watch, I think.
On that night? Maybe that night. I think it's the 30th. So I don't know what's on the 30th, but
I don't know.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much that's been the NFL the last couple days.
Yeah,
Baker was really the big story.
Do you want to go to actual fighting, real life fighting?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go to UFC.
Man, oh man, UFC 276 happened last weekend. Mm-hmm. Still ruminating from that. My man, Alexander Volkanovski. That's why I shaved my head.
Yeah.
Because of no, I'm just joking. But
gotta go a bit shorter.
He's an absolute legend. Man. Great fight from him. Followed by that was in the co-main at 145. Alexander Volkanovski beating Max Holloway 5 rounds to zip.
It wasn't even. I thought Holloway would touch him up a little bit, land a couple good shots. Maybe get his legs just a little off balance. Because Holloway's got hands. Like, that's not a secret.
Absolutely.
Volk was just crazy. Like, when he said, like, he was going to take himself to... And he says that the last couple of fights, he always says, I'm going to take myself to the next level. But every time he says it, I'm like, how much more can you really up yourself? And then he comes out against Max and does it. He got touched, but didn't get touched for 5 rounds. Just yelling at him.
That was awesome.
In the middle of the fight. Just yelling at him. Too fast for you. Man.
That was pretty awesome.
Like, good for Volk. Good for Volk.
Definitely. And, you know, he talks about just... you know, we're already talking sports a lot here. I won't go too long. I could talk about Volkanovski all day, but he wants to go to 155. I think that's cool. I'll support him if he does it. There's a lot of fights at 145, though, and I think it'd be cool to see a dominant champ. You know, Izzy is Israel Adesanya, who we'll talk about in a second here. He's someone who's, like, cleaned his division out. Same with Usman, Kamaru Usman at 170, like, cleaned his division out. Volkanovski's beaten some of those top guys, and he's taken on every challenge that's come his way.
A couple times. Like Max.
With Max.
There's been a couple times here.
But there are still guys who are itching to fight him.
Who?
Like, well, the last guy that he beat before Max Holloway, well, I guess, sorry, what am I talking about? Before the Korean Zombie, Brian Ortega.
Okay. He's
going to be fighting Yair Rodriguez. It's kind of a lose-lose matchup, though. Like, now that I'm saying it out loud, Yair Rodriguez, who just lost to Max Holloway, is fighting Ortega, who just lost to Volkanovski.
So what happens? The winner faces Volk again?
Yeah, that's
what
kind of lame.
happens. I don't want to see that.
No.
Go to 155, get a title shot. But I don't want him to jump into 155 and then just get strangled by Oliveira.
Because he's such a little guy, right?
Yeah,
but he's got no neck, so you can't even strangle him.
That's true. It's true. What do you do with him?
I don't know.
I don't know. But what's that? 11 fights in the UFC now? Win streak for Volk?
I don't know about UFC, but he's at like a 22 fight win streak or something like ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 22 fight win streak. His only loss he's ever recorded in MMA is at 170 pounds, which is ridiculous.
He stocked up for that one.
Well, no, he's losing weight.
Oh, I guess, yeah. What am I saying? Because he fights at, 185 right now?
No. Volkanovski fights 145.
Oh, okay. So I'm all over the place.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story. Everybody talks about it when they talk about Volkanovski, but he used to weigh like 200-something pounds when he played rugby back in Australia, back down under.
I think they mentioned that on the broadcast too. Like he was like weighing in at like 215, 210 or something like that.
They always mention that. Yeah, and then he's slowly cut down weight. He's had fights at middleweight, 185, fights at 170, and he's gone all the way down to 145, which I think is a great weight for him. 155, man, he looks small compared to 145ers, but he's so like explosive and like athletic that it makes up for it. But he's really not like, he's not like the fastest guy. He's not like the most, like the longest guy, you know, with his reach or anything.
Yeah.
So when he starts fighting guys that are bigger than him, it might become an issue. That's the only thing. I got full, look, the champ can do what he wants. He's dominant. And I believe in him. I think he can do it. But I just, you know, like, there's some caution there.
I think his reach moving to that weight class would be, especially if you're fighting Oliveira, like he's going to be down a couple inches in reach for sure. So, but I'm for it because when you're winning that much, like, you might as well go for it. And especially with the belt literally being vacant.
Yeah.
He could get that title shot just walking in there. Just, okay.
I think, well, a thing that's very interesting, I have this written down somewhere. Yeah, okay. The only fight at 155 pounds with anybody in the top 10, listen to this, I'll say that one more time.
Go ahead.
The only fight in the top 10 of 155 that's scheduled right now is Rafael Dos Anjos against Rafael Fiziev, which is coming up in a couple weeks. But nobody else in the top 10 even has a fight scheduled yet.
That's it? That's the only fight?
Only fight. So people are talking about Islam Makhachev fighting for the vacant title against Oliveira, which is great, you know.
Yeah.
But 155 is like such a competitive weight class that I don't think it's too crazy to just see Volkanovski come up and like, look, he's already a champ. He deserves the opportunity to fight for a belt, that's for sure. Whether he wins it or not, like, it's up to anybody, you know. But I think he deserves to fight for it.
And what do we as fans not want to see from that, though?
Exactly.
You want to see the guy walk in there and go for it. But speaking of fans, what we don't want to see, we don't want to see a fight finished by no decision with an eye poke.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's what we don't want to see.
We'll move, to the start of the main card there.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, it was Sugar Sean's first test, quote-unquote test, in the top echelon of the bantamweight division, which, in my opinion, is the most competitive and exciting division in the UFC, 135. Definitely the best top 10. Maybe, okay, other than 155.
Sure.
That's just
we'll
without
just exclude
saying.
that, yeah.
But Sugar Sean fighting, I think, ranked number 8 or 9, Pedro Munoz, as he called him, Prelim Pedro, which is kind of funny.
That is funny.
But round 1, it seemed pretty even. I mean,
it was just a feeling out.
Pedro did not land a single body or headshot the entire fight. But I think he landed 22 or 4 leg strikes.
Mm-hmm. But how many were checked?
If you ask Sugar Sean,
they were all checked.
They were all checked.
I saw his press conference after, and I was very happy with what he was saying, because that second round, that first half of the second round, he looked good. Like, he was touching him up pretty good. He was landing a couple of combos. It didn't look like Pedro was going to do much to Sean.
Yeah, it really seemed like his only strategy. And I know, Pedro's a great fighter, and he's proven himself a lot in the past, but it did seem like his only strategy was kick him in the leg.
And hope that affects him.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. And then I think Sean caught on to that pretty quickly, that this is all he's going to throw at me.
That's what everybody goes for with Sean. Yeah. Ever since Chito Vera...
foot?
Ever since he kicked his calf muscle or whatever and turned his foot off... Everybody thinks they can just kick Sugar Sean, and then there he goes.
But he knows that, because even the first couple of kicks, sure, we can say they landed. Let's just pretend.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have to rewatch it to see if they actually landed. But definitely, like, the last 5 or 6, like, he was turning out his leg. Those were checked, like, for sure. Like, you didn't have to be a crazy fight fan to know that was just his leg hitting his shin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's a tough fight. Like, and where does Sean go from this? Do they run it back? I don't think they should run it back.
No, I think he moves. If you want to call it a no contest, that's fine. Just give him the next level.
Top 5. I don't think
maybe not the top 5. Maybe not the top 5, but I don't know. Bring him up a little bit. Like, the guy's a natural. Like, he brings so much fans, right? Like, he just has that charisma about him, and he's good at building his character. So no matter who he fights, he will make sure that people are watching it, and he'll be ready. Like, he always shows up. So
that is a big aspect of it, right? You want to get the fans involved, and you want people watching it more than anything, right? That's why, I guess if that's enough with Sean, I wouldn't mind moving on to the main event, because...
Okay.
But before the main event, I guess, my point was... that's kind of what the UFC is doing with Alex Pereira.
What do you mean?
Well, Alex Pereira, the guy who beat Israel Adesanya twice, knocked him out twice in kickboxing. He's only had, I think, 6, maybe 7 now, MMA fights ever. And only 3 in the UFC. He won his first 2 pretty convincingly, some highlights in there. And then, boom, right away they give him... I think Sean Strickland was ranked number 4 or something. Like, that's crazy. Jump him all the way up to number 4 against Sean Strickland. Knocks his ass out. Like,
Yeah.
Like, Buddy's got, I think his nickname, just as a side note real quick, not to ramble, but his nickname is Stone Hands in I don't know the language. I'm sorry. I'm uncultured. But in whatever language he speaks... But I think I read a thing online that his nickname isn't like Stone Hands Pereira. It's like a definition of him is like, you have stone for hands.
Wow.
Like, which is kind of crazy.
I feel that's way cooler than just having that as a nickname.
Yeah, exactly.
If you got a little backstory, I'll call it.
Anyways, the UFC is building him up so strong to be the next guy to fight Izzy that it's kind of like Sean. It reminds me of Sean's or I guess it kind of contradicts Sean's progressive build with all the hype. Sean's been building his fan base and getting people to like him and grow his social media following. and slowly going up in competition, while Pereira has been like 3 fights in. He's already like fighting for the title next, according to Izzy, who called him out at the end of his fight. Like, the UFC knows what the fans want, is my point.
Yeah, but Izzy, like, that fight wasn't that entertaining.
All right, let's get into it.
That fight was not entertaining. Like, oh, I get it. He won. Like, I get that's, sometimes that's the way the fight goes. And you got to feel it out. And there's not going to be a knockout. And, but damn, do something. Like, they kind of went, just sparred for 5 rounds. Like, okay, cool. And then win by decision. All right, a win's a win. But really, no one watched that and was like, wow, Izzy, like, way to show up.
My issue with it is not Izzy's performance.
What's your issue?
My issue isn't that he plays it safe, touches the guy up, gets the points, wins. That's fine. Like, honestly, Anderson Silva used to do the same type of thing. He'd get his wins. People would call him boring. But he's a GOAT. Like, he like literally lapping the division. You cannot blame him for getting wins. My issue is that in the press conferences and things like that, like the embeddeds, whatever, he's like, I'm going to do something different to this guy. I'm going to bring fireworks. It's the biggest event of the year. I'm going to light this dude up.
Like, come out to the Undertaker theme song?
Like, that was pretty cool.
Bro, you got to put him in the coffin, though, if you're going to do that. Come on.
I know. So it's not, and even that, like, I say it lightly because at the end of the day, he's winning fights, and you can't blame him for that. He's winning.
Sure.
If the other guy wants to win, then he should put himself in more of a compromising position, Why should Izzy put himself in a position where he could get knocked out when he's beating the other guy up? You know what I mean?
True.
The other guy can't even get close to him.
Yep. If that's fine. Like you said, it's fighting. Like, it's part of the sport, sure. But the fans want to see you. Especially when you're, like you said, you're sitting at the press conference, you're hyping yourself up, you're hyping everybody else around you up. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. And then kind of crickets. Sure, fun. But, like, the Volk fight was the highlight, like, for me anyway. Like, watching him just rip that apart. But
barn burner.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think that covers pretty much the UFC. There was a couple other good things out there.
That covers all the fights. I got 2 more things to touch on.
Go ahead.
One is at that event in Vegas. What am I thinking? Yeah, I think Las Vegas. Of course it was Vegas. It was International Fight Week. There was an altercation between Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler. Did you see that?
I did not. I saw you put it in here, and I didn't look it up. I just didn't hear a thing about it today.
It was hilarious. Well, I say hilarious. It was a video, I think, recorded by Gilbert Burns.
Okay.
Because all the UFC fighters at the events, they sit in the same area.
Yep.
And then they do the panning camera shot, where they show all the people. But Poirier saw Michael Chandler, and I guess Michael Chandler, I'm talking out my ass right now because I don't exactly know the context of it, but basically the video was Dustin Poirier yelling at Michael Chandler, calling him fake and saying, bro, you're fake, man. I want to fight you, man. And I think it stems from the fact that Michael Chandler, after winning his last fight very convincingly, called out just about every single person in the lightweight division and didn't even mention Dustin Poirier.
But Dustin, doesn't help himself in that situation. Dustin doesn't put himself out there and goes, I want this fight. I want to do this. Again, the guy goes to Twitter and he makes a couple tweets. I want to do this. This guy's whatever. But he doesn't go on the mic at a UFC event. And he was at the desk, not at the main event, but I think for some of the interviews for the pre-stuff.
Yeah.
He was with DC at the desk, and they were doing the talk show that they do. I didn't watch much of it, but I saw a couple clips. And, he doesn't come across as, I want that fight. This is what I need right now. Because he hasn't fought in a long time.
He has not fought in a while since he lost that belt. Mm-hmm. Well, not lost it, but lost the opportunity to get the belt.
Yeah. Chandler's on the up. Why does he want to face someone that just lost their title shot and then has kind of gone off the radar for everybody?
I think that is Chandler's reasoning for not calling him out, yes. Mm-hmm. But Poirier's a big fight. Poirier's everybody knows Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, the diamond.
He's on the level, just underneath, Izzy, McGregor, that. If they're, S tier of, draws for eyeballs to the UFC, Dustin Poirier's right under that.
Because I think people generally want to see him win.
He beat McGregor twice.
Yeah, like I think people actually do want to see him win. Like a lot of people, you can be like, you want to see them lose. Like McGregor definitely has some haters out there, and then like people want to see him lose. People actually want to see Dustin win, but again, he disappears after. So
I like Dustin.
I do too. Sure, we all like Dustin, but you got to fight. You got to stay relevant, right? And if you're not gonna fight, like look at Sean O'Malley. If you're not gonna fight, you got your social media, you got your podcast, you got whatever you're doing.
He's got his hot sauce.
Stay relevant.
He's got hot sauce.
Louisiana hot sauce. I did not buy it yet.
No. Okay, my last UFC point. This has nothing to do with that card. It has to do with, I was so sad to see this. Darren Till pulling out of UFC Fight Night, July 23rd in the UK. Like, come on, man.
For an undisclosed injury.
Darren Till, look, I understand. And when the first person I heard talk about this was Michael Bisping, who's a fellow UK man, fellow Mandem, if you will. I don't know. Is that Toronto slang? Whatever.
I think so.
And he said he would rather, and I agree with this, he would rather Darren Till wait until he's 100%, and then when he makes his comeback, it's when he wants it. Don't force yourself from injury, this, that. We know you don't want to pull out of the fight, but sometimes you have to.
Sure, but that's a big event to pull out of if you're, like, you know what I mean? Like, and cool. To not disclose the injury...
it might come out. Like
I hope it comes out because people gotta know what's going on. If you're gonna pull out of that fight, you at least gotta explain yourself a little bit, right? I mean, you don't have to, but as a fan, I'd like to know why you're not fighting.
Yeah, and he's
in arguably one of your biggest events.
Darren Till has lost 4 of his last 5 fights. So, and he's fought great competition. I have it written down there. He's fought Tyron Woodley when he was going for the belt. Lost to Masvidal, lost to Whitaker, lost to Brunson most recently. So these are good guys. Yeah. Like it's not like he's getting like smacked around. It's not like he's lost I mean, I don't know for sure, but it's not like he's like lost a step and is like barely hanging on to his career here. Like he's lost to the top tier guys, and when he wants to do his comeback and he's going to like push for that, it's better to come back strong.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, and like you said, that's a tough roster to take on, the guys you just mentioned.
But that UK card without Darren Till, like obviously it's still gonna be awesome. We got Paddy Pimblett fighting, we got Paddy that Batty, whatever.
Paddy,
that guy's funny. I don't want to talk about him.
You don't want to talk about him?
No, I don't want to talk about
him. He probably hasn't even started weight cutting yet.
No, but he's eating cheeseburgers, man. The fight's in like 2 weeks. He's eating cheeseburgers. Yeah. And then Tom Aspinall is the main event. I think Darren Till was supposed to be the co-main against Jack Hermanson. We haven't even mentioned his opponent. I don't know what he's doing. But that was supposed to be the main and co-main event.
Do you think the UFC can fill that spot with this short notice? Or do you have to take a fight off the card? Like,
Maybe.
Can you replace that?
Yeah, you probably can.
This is a weird time. Like, usually you don't get enough notice or you get a lot of notice. This is a little bit of an in-between. I don't know if they'll have anybody to throw in there right now.
Yeah, it'd be tough. It'd be tough. I don't know.
You have to pick somebody that just fought not too long ago. That's in shape, ready to go.
The UFC does magical things sometimes.
That is true. That is true.
But I think that's all we got for UFC news.
Yeah. And now
we can't talk about this. I could talk about this next for like an hour.
All right, so if you're not an F1 fan, you're missing out. Last weekend, starting with even qualifying was incredible to watch in Silverstone. Just already a great atmosphere to be there, and then qualifying gets off to a crazy start. They get into it. Carlos ends up on the pole with his last lap.
Carlos Sainz driving for Ferrari.
That is true. He ends up on the pole with Max behind him, and then you start us off with the race on Sunday.
Well, look, you missed the most important point of qualifying.
Oh, no.
Goat Tiffy made it into Q3. The greatest driver of our generation. The greatest Canadian driver.
I was happy to see a Canadian in the top 10 because we got slim pickings of Canadians.
We got Lance Stroll.
Who has a hard time breaking out of the
has a hard time
20th.
Hard time getting out of bed in the morning, that guy probably. Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, that is true. Latifi was in the top 10.
Yeah.
So that was fun to see.
And it was probably, well, definitely the best race I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, probably those last, like, 5-6 laps are probably the best laps, like, I'll see in, like, years.
Could be a couple years.
Like, that was nuts. Like, I think there was 6 cars fighting for the podium.
Yep.
Like, and Alonso, I don't want to get too deep into it quick, but Alonso in, like, 5th or whatever, like, right back there was, like, you could see his mouth watering, waiting for 2 cars to crash so we could go up into the podium. Oh my God. And then Lando right behind him. And then the 2 Ferraris, the 2 Red Bulls. Or not the
Red Bull. Max, which,
not the Red Bull.
You know, it's weird too because I was talking to some other people that I know, and they've been F1 fans for years. And they said kind of that some of the best racing that they've seen, and they've been fans for a long time, is when your Hamilton, your Verstappens are out. You get a chance to see other people kind of race for that, and it's a much closer race. And, you know, before F1 the last couple years, if we go back longer than that, the leader would be up like 30 seconds sometimes. Like, they'd be up crazy time. So then that's not very interesting. But Max hits some debris, goes under his car.
I think it was a piece of Yuki's car.
It was, yeah.
He said, I tried to go left, I was going to go right, but I decided to hit it head on. And usually it just explodes, but it got stuck in the floor of the car.
Yep. And it's crazy to see him. He slipped so fast. He was in 2nd, I think it was 3rd, and he ended up slipping all the way down to 8th.
I think he finished in 6th. No. What am I thinking?
I think it was 8th.
7th or 8th?
It was maybe 8th. It was somewhere in there. I don't
so
remember.
Low, I don't care.
Yeah, it didn't matter. But again, even with Max finishing low, you still had kind of Checo keeping up.
Insane.
Still had him keeping up, which is nice to see because you have a 1 and 2 driver, and Checo is making an argument for why he should be taking points instead of Verstappen.
Checo is number 2 in the Drivers' Championship.
Think about that.
And yeah, that's very impressive.
Yep.
And he drove a ridiculous race. Like, the fact that he came out of nowhere and ended up back on the podium after that terrible situation at the start is insane.
Yep.
I will say, I just want to say real quick, like, Carlos with the win.
We're happy for him.
I'm not a Ferrari fan. Like, that's not my team. I'm a Mercedes. Not Mercedes. I'm a McLaren. I'm reading Mercedes on the screen. I'm a McLaren fan. But, back in the days when Carlos was on McLaren, like, he's still my favorite driver in the paddock. Like, what a beauty. He deserved it. And he did not listen to Ferrari at all. He didn't listen to team direction whatsoever. He didn't care.
As a Ferrari fan, I jumped on the bandwagon. Season 3, Drive to Survive. Not going to lie. Got into F1 that way. Jumped on the Ferrari bandwagon in Season 3. And, we high hopes for Ferrari this year. Especially they come out with the car. We know the story. We know what's going on. Charles looking fantastic. Carlo looking fantastic. And Ferrari's strategy somehow has managed to get them in the most trouble than any other team. Their strategy is so bad. And I don't understand how you can sit there, and that's your job, and you sit there and you make that bad of decisions. You had plenty of time to pit both drivers at the end of the race. And for those that might not have seen it, safety car, I think with like 7 laps left, comes out. Everybody's on old tires. Charles Leclerc is on old hard tires.
The hardest tires you've ever seen.
The oldest out of the entire field, and he's sitting up there in 1st at that time. Drives right past pit lane. Drives right past him. I'm sitting there. I'm on the couch.
Yeah.
I'm all hyped up. Oh, this is going to be... We got like a 10-second gap between them, something like that. Easy double stop. You might lose a little time. Who cares? You're going to be on fresh tires. The boys will make it up. No, there he goes. Just right by it. All right.
They asked Carlos to create 10 car lengths of space between 2nd and 1st to give Charles a big lead.
Mm-hmm. After the pit. After he didn't take the pit stop on the restart.
And I think Carlos misheard. And you know what I think he heard? Vamos! And
That's
he took
true.
off.
That's true. That's true.
That's
He sits,
awesome.
he goes on the radar and he goes, "Don't ask me to do this."
Do that. Oh my god.
And you know, you can't blame him because when he's on fresh softs, you're gonna be faster. So you don't want to sit there and then you're gonna be the sitting duck for the next sitting duck anyway, because if he gets past by trying to create that space, Shell has no chance of holding on anyway, right? So at that point, like you said, selfishness in sports plays a role. Sure.
Take that win.
But you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder what the heck is going through Ferrari's head when they're making that decision. And then after the race, so Charles ends up slipping all the way to fourth.
Fourth, yeah.
Only gaining 6 points
On Verstappen.
And it was one of the first. It could be, we don't know. Could be Verstappen's worst race of the year.
Where he finishes, yeah.
That could be his worst race of the year, and you get 6 points on him in the championship.
Not
6
enough.
points.
That's not enough.
6 points. You have how many DNFs this year as a Ferrari driver? How many? Like 4?
Too many.
I think Charles has like 2 or 3. Carlo has 1 or 2, I think. You can't be doing that. You got to capitalize on that opportunity. And then after the race, the team principal just giving it to Leclerc.
Wagging that finger right in
Benito.
his face. I think he was telling him, like, it got, man, I read it, but I don't remember. I think he told him, like, I know these times have been tough, but you got to, like, look forward. You can't be too down on yourself. Be excited for Carlos. But it's also, like, man, like you said, 6 points up on Verstappen. Like, that's not gonna do it. Like, that's not gonna do it.
No. And
for winning the Drivers' Championship.
you have a serious chance at winning this championship this year. And it's not gone yet. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, your season's over. There's still tons of racing left in the year, and lots could happen. Like we see, you run over a piece of debris, and your race kind of gets put out the window. But that could happen to Ferrari. And then what? And that happens a couple times, and then what? You can't just keep letting every time something negative happens to your competitor, Red Bull, in this situation. Every time something negative happens to them, you shoot yourself in the foot. You give yourself something to worry about. And then it's just so frustrating, especially for me, being a Ferrari fan now. I'm like, I just want to see you do well. And Shell's getting angry.
The last time Charles got more points than Carlos was Miami.
Yeah, that was a while ago, too.
That
is a while ago.
Insane.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Prove me wrong. Like, I think that's right.
I actually do think you're correct.
But
how many of that is... Wait,
most of them with team strategy,
yeah,
that's what you're going to say?
That's the thing. It's like, how many of that is just driving? None of it. It's all, this and that and this and that. And it's just, come on, man.
So, yeah, and the last thing I'll say on the race is I really, truly believe that Mercedes is back. And
thanks to the FIA.
To the FIA, thank you.
Thanks for stepping in and making a rule that helps us again. Thank you very much. Toto's sitting there going, thank you, thank you, thank you. Here's some cash, here's some cash, here's some cash.
I genuinely think that Mercedes... Do you think... Like, this is my question. Do you think that Mercedes is going to win a race this year?
No.
No?
Let me rephrase. If both Ferraris and both Red Bulls have, I'm going to say, bad races, if something like that happened this week with Max, where they all get debris or they bump tires.
Baku double DNF. Exactly.
If something like that happens, and even then, Russell would probably have the better car. Like, so far this year, he has proven that yes, Lewis had set some fastest laps. Absolutely, Russell showed up. But it was his home race. He showed up. Got to give credit where credit's due. But Russell also didn't finish, and it was his first DNF. And every other race he's finished, he's been in the top 5. So if both Ferraris and both Red Bulls are out, there's nothing that says Russell will lose to Hamilton.
I'd make a bet with you right now that 100% Mercedes' first win of the season will be Lewis Hamilton.
When?
I don't know when, but Lewis Hamilton will win Mercedes' first race this year.
This is his longest active I shouldn't say losing streak, but without a win streak.
Yep.
In his career. In I think it was 15 years, something like that. He's
know.
never gone more than 11 or 10 races without a victory or a podium.
Would you make that bet, though?
Would I make that bet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely would make that bet because Russell is faster. Like, he's been faster. This isn't a secret that he's not faster. Like, he's proven over and over and over again this whole season why they brought him to Mercedes, to be the future, to be the next number one. And if you look at the points right now, he's got more points than Lewis. So I can't see Mercedes, if both those drivers are up there, I can't really see them going, hey, Russell, drop back. We'll let Lewis take this one. Because guess what? Lewis has 8 champions. 8 championships.
Seven.
7 championships.
Give him an extra. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Why not? I'm still thinking of last year.
Yeah.
And then just let Russell go. He's the future. He's got a fast car. And he had a fast car before the FIA made the rule, before they added the extra support to the floor, before they added all this. Let him go.
I think that's a crazy take.
That Russell's better than Lewis right now? I don't think that's a crazy take.
Well, it's not that he's better. It's just, like, we'll move on after this, but because I think that's enough for sports.
Yeah.
We've been going on forever. But they've been doing the tests on Lewis's car. You know what I mean? Like, Lewis has had the test car where they're doing the changes. They've kept Russell's car the same. From what I've gathered, they've kept Russell's car I call him Russell. George. They've kept his car the same most of the time. What a friggin' nerd that guy is.
You got to say with the accent.
George.
There you go.
George Russell,
that
mate.
sounds much better.
I'm a driver for Mercedes. Anyway, let's move
Why
on.
not?
He's a cool guy, but he's a freaking nerd, man.
I'm anxious to see how that plays out.
Yeah. Lots in sports. I mean, we can do a little look ahead just quick because I don't have any notes on a look ahead.
Let's recap that. Or look ahead, sorry.
Like there's a big race this weekend. Like we're doing a double header. Where are they? Austria? Hungary?
I didn't look today.
Austria or Hungary, one of those.
Maybe.
And
it's on my phone.
Austria. Let's just say that.
Yeah, sure.
And it'll be a great race.
With a sprint race.
That'll be fun.
We'll get into sprint races next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about how much we like them next week.
We'll get into that.
UFC card this weekend. Dos Anjos, Fiziev. I think that's this weekend. I'm saying this like I'm disorganized, but I have all my notes here. UFC this weekend's gonna be cool. I'll talk about that more next time. Hockey, that the free agency's opening up.
Sure.
This guy's a lot to talk about coming up.
Yep.
All right, you want to talk some entertainment?
Where do you want to go?
Well, we both watched Hustle the other day.
Yeah.
Basketball movie, kind of keeping with sports.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So first I was scrolling by and I saw the rating of the movie. Rated R. I was like, Uncut Gems, that was a crazy movie and I'm pretty sure that was pretty high rated. So I had some pretty crazy standards going in. But I guess that's not really fair to Adam Sandler to have the same expectations every time. However, the movie had some cheese in it. It was a little cheesy. Like, I appreciate what Adam Sandler was doing. I appreciate the storyline. But it's like they just pulled their favorite lines from the best sports movies. And we're like, we can just throw that in at the beginning. We'll throw that in at the climax. And you know what? At the end, we'll just put a little cheese and wine there for you. So it was good. I enjoyed it. It definitely shouldn't have been rated R.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because they said the F word. I think it's because there was some nudity slightly. But I think that's enough for rated R these days. I liked it, though. I really liked the I already forget his name, but the basketball player there.
Bo Cruz,
the cruise missile.
Cruise missile.
He was great, and him and Adam Sandler, they had a really good dynamic.
Yep.
And something that I thought was really cool that I heard people talking about online is Adam Sandler is a basketball scout, if you haven't seen the movie. He's a basketball scout for the Sixers. And his daughter is like a film buff girl. Like, she wants to go to film school.
Yes.
And I thought it was very cool that he brought his daughter into the practices and helped him record and showed interest in her, like...
kind of fusing the two worlds together.
Yeah, it was a nice father-daughter type situation too. So I think it was a good family movie.
I mean, and actually, it played no spoilers, but it played a huge role in the movie.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was a huge storyline.
It was her idea.
Going into it, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I liked it. I definitely thought, we're sports fans in general, so we'll watch the sport movie. And I liked the whole idea of kind of finding the diamond in the rough. I thought that was really good. all the adversity was really good. And even the competitors at the end, when they had to like film the basketball scenes, because that's tough for sports movies. Sometimes they'll film the movie and the sports scenes are just not there.
Yeah.
You know, they're just not there. So I thought they did a good job at actually like getting good camera work into the movie for the sports segments and when they were actually playing. So yeah, overall, I mean, we enjoyed it.
Yeah. I liked it a lot.
It didn't like, I'm not leaving the movie theater going like Uncut Gems. Like, I'm not leaving the movie theater going, oh my God.
Like thinking about it the next 2 days.
See, like, and it's like, I could probably watch that in a couple months and I'll be like, oh yeah, like I've seen every scene of this. I won't forget anything because it was just kind of, you know.
Big cookie cutter.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah, it was good. Whatever. And again, I'm glad Adam Sandler's, his old stuff's great. You know, everyone loves retro Adam Sandler. But I'm glad he's taking himself seriously now. Like, he's kind of jumped into this new life of his, and I'm really happy because it's kind of like he has 2 careers now. He had a career, and he kind of phased himself out. He did some rom-coms. He did, obviously, his old comedies are really good, and then he kind of took a little bit of break. And then he comes back, and now he's in the... I want to say family movies, but like drama is a little bit more and a little bit more intensity.
It's a bit of like a renaissance of his career.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Where he's kind of doing what he wants. He's being a bit more serious. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's cool.
And I think, I mean, obviously I'm not Adam Sandler, so I don't know. But I think maybe he was like sick and tired of people just being like, oh, he's only good as Billy Madison. Oh, he's only good at certain things. And I think he kind of might have taken that to heart and just says... Watch this.
Yeah, I'd be very curious if he actually thinks about stuff like that. Because that's what I would think too, looking in. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Maybe he doesn't care.
Especially when that was, I don't want to say so long ago, but a while ago in his career.
He was a kid.
That was like his first stuff, moving up in. And then obviously after he was done SNL and whatever. So yeah, I'm happy for him. I think it's really good. And I don't think Bo Cruz, I don't know the actor's name, but I don't think he's... Like, nothing that I've seen before.
Nothing
anyway.
I've seen, no.
I didn't recognize him. There's a few actors and actresses in there that I did not recognize from anything.
Yeah, all those basketball players. Who the hell are they?
That was a very cool montage at the end. At first, I was like, why are they showing all this? But then, once we watched all of it, I was pretty happy that they showed all the, you know, everybody playing ball in their prime, talking trash, you know. Some of their best highlights.
If you haven't seen the movie, there's a ton of actual basketball players in it. And they do a good job of, like, I mean, other than a couple that can't act at all, other than a couple of them, it's pretty cool.
Who are you referring to?
No comment. Kyle Lowry.
No. Oh, no.
No, he was good.
Kyle.
Okay, what? Are you watching? Okay, did you watch The Boys yet?
I watched The Boys episode 1. Just 1. The Boys episode 1. I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. Especially when shows take length to come out with the next season, you appreciate it way more, right? So this took them along. They really...
If it's
did a lot of filming. Yes, absolutely. And I think they knocked it out of the park. Like, episode 1 was a great pace setter for the rest of the season. It got you back into the story, and they did a great job also of, like, picking up where they left off. Like, it wasn't like, you got to go back and watch the last episode. I did. But you didn't have to. You could jump back into it as a fan and still be like, oh, yeah, I remember all this. Because
they give you that 1 year boost where it's like it's been a year since the last season. So it's kind of like that whole starting fresh situation no matter what.
Yep.
But like I'm all caught up right now. So there's one more episode to go. I just watched episode 7. And it's definitely like it's one of those shows where like the episode ends and the first thing you're thinking is like, man, I want to watch the next episode.
Yeah. I feel like that's the show. Even season 1 and 2. Like, that's the show. Episode ends, and you can't help yourself but to watch the countdown and go, should I? Should I not? And it's already on.
Yeah.
And you're watching it. But I'm excited. And I love the dark character development of any shows, really. Like, if one of your main characters takes that dark twist, sign me up. I will watch all of it.
Who are you referring to right now without spoilers?
I mean, it's not a spoiler. Like, obviously, if you've seen the end of season 1 and you've seen all of season 2, you know Homelander's going down a dark path.
Oh, yeah, that's not a spoiler.
Right, that's not a spoiler at all.
You've
seen it at all. But as every episode, they do such a good job of just getting him to that extra notch.
Oh, man. I know everything that guy's thinking. Everything. Like, it's awesome.
And I think that's why, because you know everything he's thinking, but you don't know how he's going to react.
Ah, it's very true.
Right? You know, like, oh, that's going to piss him off. But then you're like, is he gonna do A or is he gonna do B? You don't know. You kind of got to sit there and watch. So I was pretty happy with that first episode. I mean, the opening scene.
What was the opening scene?
Well, they're trying to sneak. I'm blanking now on his name. They got. I can't spoil it. I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, that's fine. That's
so
fine.
we'll move on. But anyway,
But
if you're gonna watch The Boys, the first couple minutes, kind of a reference to a meme. I think it is a reference to it.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember what it was.
The Thanos and Ant-Man
Oh
meme. That's
my
all I'm going to
God.
say. That's all I'm going to say.
I had to skip that scene. If you guys watch it, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I was eating. I had to skip that scene.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Okay, real quick, I'll hit some Disney Plus shows that I just finished. I finished Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep. How was it?
It was good. It was really good. I mean, like,
That's the problem.
so much criticism online. Oh my God, Star Wars fans are actually mentally insane. Like, it was a good show. Like,
But that's the problem.
just because it wasn't like this, like the Godfather for every episode. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't mean it's not still good. Like,
But it's good. When they announced Obi-Wan, we wanted great. And I say we because I haven't seen it yet. I'm in the middle of watching the Clone Wars. So I'm finishing one Star Wars before I jump to another Star Wars show. And you know, when they announced this, people went crazy, right? And especially because Mando and Boba Fett were pretty good shows. Like Mando was crazy good in my opinion, and Boba Fett I thought was a little slow, but the story was there. I
fell asleep, Boba Fett.
No.
I mean, I watched every episode, and
course.
it got insane by the end. But like,
Yeah.
those first couple episodes, I'm like, buddy, you're just in the desert right now.
And I don't know why that seems to be a Star Wars thing. The first couple episodes takes you a while to get there.
Same thing with Obi-Wan.
Yeah. So and it's what, 6 episodes?
6, and I would definitely recommend it because those last 2 episodes really do the first couple episodes justice. If you know what I mean. Like, there are some things that got a lot of criticism from the first couple episodes that if you watch the whole series before making your judgments, those judgments will be null. If you know what I mean. Like,
I
some
do.
things where you watch and you're like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's not stupid. You just don't know it yet. You're stupid.
Oh wow.
Not actually, because a lot of stuff was actually stupid. But it was I definitely liked it. Like, the last 2 episodes were really good.
But the thing too with Star Wars is you do have to know. Like, you do have to go in with some Star Wars knowledge.
Yeah.
That's not a show you can just kind of toss on and be like, oh, I get that reference. Oh, I get that reference. You're not going to get that reference.
You gotta know Darth Vader is Anakin. Spoiler alert.
Whoa.
And that he's Luke's father.
And I've muted all like keywords on my social medias and stuff like that because I don't want to be spoiled. And somehow a poster comes up on one of my timelines. I was like, how? I've muted everything. And it wasn't like, obviously when they announce the characters, you know that that's going to happen. But yeah, so I saw a poster. I don't want to say it.
Okay, you don't have to say it.
But it just had something to do with a final ending battle, I do believe.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
but you got to watch 6 episodes to get there. So.
you do. Another episode, I watched the last episode today. Real quick, Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that one.
Okay.
It's one of the better Marvel shows on Disney, I think.
Sure.
I liked WandaVision. I think WandaVision's still probably up at the top.
Yeah. That was killer when it came out.
Yeah, that was like a phenomenon when it came out.
Yeah, that was.
Moon Knight's definitely up close to that level.
Okay.
I really like Oscar Isaac's like
Really
insane.
Yeah.
And the girl, Layla, unfortunately I don't know the actress's name. She's fantastic. And she gets a lot of spotlight in the last 2 episodes. She does a really good job with it.
Which is good.
And Moon Knight really good. Next up for me from Marvel, I'm watching Miss Marvel.
I mean, good. You got to give it a chance. Good for you.
Good for me.
Well, like, I have too much on the go right now. Like, too many shows. Like, I'm watching The Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh,
right
really?
Now. So you're I don't even know how many episodes.
You're treating it like it's like community service, watching Miss Marvel.
No, it's just like I'm not a massive Marvel fan to begin with. That's not a secret to people that know me. As Scorsese says, it's the carnival of film.
The carnival, yes.
No, I just find like the original like Avengers when they all had their individual movies, and obviously like you have your Iron Man and your original Thors. Okay, great. Those are amazing. And then it's like once you get past the first couple Avengers and everybody else, they start filtering out. It's like, okay, I've seen this movie before. But I do have to say, Doctor Strange has stolen my heart.
Did you watch it?
I have not seen the latest one, but I'm just, because I'm so hyped up, because I love Doctor Strange to begin with. And everyone says this movie takes a little bit of a darker turn. And I literally haven't even seen the trailer because I want no knowledge.
It is on Disney Plus.
For free?
I got in my notes right here. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness on Disney Plus right now.
When they had that? Like yesterday?
Like a couple days ago.
Wow.
That's why I wrote it down.
I know what I'm doing.
There you go.
There we go.
And it was good for sure. I like Doctor Strange.
Now, you mentioned. Did you mention Thor?
No, so that came out yesterday. Technically, Thor: Love and Thunder, directed by Taika Waititi, who also did Thor: Ragnarok, and which is like a comedy, like more comedy. And I do hear that this one is more comedy.
Yes, I did hear that too. Which is, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy's opened up that genre for Marvel, so I'm okay with that.
And I'm okay with it too. My only issue that I keep hearing about it, and I haven't seen it yet, so I don't want to speak on it too much. And I'm excited to see it. I'm gonna see it, but I hear they make Thor. Well, they treat Thor like he's like a caricature of himself. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there's no seriousness whatsoever. He's just an idiot.
Yeah, I feel like that's happened the last couple of Thor, even the last Avengers.
Yeah, he's just a dummy.
Yeah, they just kind of brush him off as whatever, he's Thor. And then, but if you go back to like the origin of Thor, the guy's a badass.
Even just like the first movie.
Yeah, it's just like, how can you go from everything to nothing so quickly? And I get, character development. Yeah, I get it. The story arc, sure. But make him interesting. Damn it.
Damn it, make him interesting.
I want to see the eye patch going crazy. When he cut his hair, I wasn't the biggest fan of that.
They wanted him to be hot.
Exactly. Cut your hair, sure, whatever. But you better
kick some ass.
Yeah, let me see something here. I don't want to see you just sitting in a chair making some one-liner rom-com lines. So I'm going to watch it. Of course I'm going to watch it. Are my expectations high? No, they're probably pretty mediocre.
But that might be a good thing.
Yeah, I'd rather go in low expectations and then get exceeded. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I see on your notes, I'm gonna just jump in here.
Hit me.
The Minions. Rise
baby.
of Gru. I don't know if you've seen all the media coverage and everything that's going on with this movie, because I didn't see it until a couple days ago. That is ridiculous. People are going into the movie theaters dressed like nice, like suit and tie nice, with bananas, throwing parties in the movie theater, going absolutely crazy. The video I saw this morning, the theater called the cops and had to shut down like an actual banger going on in the movie theater.
Sounds awesome, man.
Where did this come from?
I don't know where it comes. Bro, the internet's insane.
That's true.
I saw a video of a girl who told her family they were going to a fancy dinner. They all dressed up. She's like, I got reservations. It's 5 stars. And they went to go see Minions Rise of Gru.
I love it.
And I think they all fell asleep. I think that was the meme. Is that like the parents fell asleep.
Ah.
But they were all wearing like dressed to the nines.
That's amazing though. But I forget who I was watching, but they did say that the movie in general was okay.
Yeah, I heard
like it's the joke behind it that's making the movie good. Which, okay, how many Minions? This got to be, if we're talking about Despicable Me and Minions put together,
I think 4 or 5 at this point.
Okay, because
I don't think there's that many.
There's been a few Despicable Me's and a few Minions each,
at least 2 or 3 Despicable Me's and at least 2 or 3 Minions.
Okay, but for this to crush like July 4th box office in the States is crazy.
Yeah.
And I didn't look at the numbers for Canada, but I'm assuming they're not bad.
No, they're good.
I'm assuming they're not bad. And I couldn't believe that it was actually breaking records because of all the hype that the internet has put behind this movie.
I don't have this written down, but you know what's absolutely tanking at the box office? The reason why I didn't write it down is because of how irrelevant it is.
Oh, boy.
Buzz. I heard, like, it obviously got a big pop when it came out, but it's just not making money.
When are people gonna realize to not mess with a good thing? I don't know why that is the movie thing. Last year, this year, and it's gonna be the next thing probably for the next couple of years. It's just gonna be constant remakes. There was nothing wrong with Toy Story.
And there's kind of nobody wanted this.
Because everybody that watched Toy Story growing up, you and me, we don't need this. We still love the Buzz Lightyear that we know and love. We don't need to see this prequel, and I think that's kind of what happened. Like, whether the movie was good or bad, I haven't even seen it yet. I'm a diehard Toy Story fan.
Do you know the concept? You know the premise?
Yeah. I know the concept. He's young Buzz, and he's
No.
Yeah,
And
he's saving galaxies.
But it's not the Buzz Lightyear from the movie.
Okay, see that part I missed. Yeah, so I don't know the concept. Tell me.
I don't want to explain it because the movie's so irrelevant.
Just tell me though.
But the point of the movie is like, this is the movie that the toy is based off of. So a young Andy from Toy Story would have seen this movie or a movie from this universe and then bought a toy based off this Buzz.
Why?
Yeah, see, it's just like such a weird deep dive.
Because guess what?
Who wanted this?
I already knew that. I already knew that Buzz Lightyear is a top-selling action figure from the Toy Story world. Obviously, when it started.
Yeah.
Space Commander from another planet. Laser. Like, I already know all this. The movies are great. And the fourth Toy Story is a heartstringer, right? For people that grew up with the franchise. I don't know who their demographic was for this because it wasn't the people that grew up with it, and I don't know if it really reached out to a younger demographic that like wants a new animated superhero, or not even superhero, just a family movie, a kids movie. So I don't know.
I don't know who they thought they were appealing to or who they thought they were marketing to, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there were people who were anticipating the movie who went out to go see it. But then after that, it was like, do I take my kid to this movie or do I bring the boys to this movie?
Exactly.
Because we all grew up on this, but it's like made for kids. And my kid doesn't want to see like gritty Buzz Lightyear. They want to see Toy Story.
And even those who grew up with it that now have kids, they've already seen the originals. Those children, they've already seen the originals. So again, you're not appealing to anybody. But it might be a hot take, but I feel like the last family animated Disney movies, I haven't seen many of them, but I haven't heard like, oh, you got to check this one out. Like I think the last one was Red.
I heard that was very good.
I heard it was good, but again, I haven't met somebody that's seen it. So I've read online that it's good. I've seen reviews that are good, but I haven't met somebody that's seen it.
I've seen the other ones though.
Which ones?
Like Luca, like Encanto.
I think that's different. I think that's different.
Isn't that Disney though?
Yeah, no, it's Disney, but I think that's a different. Because that's like a new style of animation that they're bringing in, like they're bringing in like a whole different culture into the Disney world. Like I think that's a whole different thing, and I think it's great because like the different animations that they bring in, the color schemes that they bring in for those movies were fantastic.
They got that Moana water.
That's right. That's
crazy.
Dwayne The Rock. So, but yeah, and just jumping into live action series. Yeah, I'm watching The Lincoln Lawyer. I'm a huge fan of the original, like the Matthew McConaughey movie. All right. Who Can't Be? I don't think you've seen that yet.
No, I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Literally probably 5 minutes in when we put it on.
Not even, because I remember you didn't even hear the opening montage.
I was like asleep.
Yeah, you were out cold. And I thought that was like your first time attempting to watch it, but I wasn't sure. So yeah, you haven't seen it. But this one, I have to give them credit because I was worried that it was they were gonna try and copy paste. I was worried that they were just gonna try and slap whatever they could, and they didn't. They took a little bit of a different route, which is nice. I can't remember. I didn't look up any actors or anything like that, so I'm not sure the names. But I feel like Netflix got caught a little bit. And is this an adult series? Like, is this for adults? Or is this for everybody to watch? I feel like they kind of got caught in a middle ground of crime. You know, obviously everyone knows he's a lawyer. So obviously he's dealing with heavy crimes.
Spoilers.
Sure. So I think they got caught kind of like, oh, we want to showcase that he's a lawyer for this. Again, this is from the movie. We want to showcase that he's a lawyer in a murder trial. But on the other hand, we're going to make this series, but we want to make it Netflix friendly for families. So I feel like they got a little caught there. But the cast was really good. Like, they're pulling it off pretty well because you can kind of tell the way the lines are written a little bit that that's what it is. So I liked it, though. And then the other thing I didn't like, though, I have to tell you, this is a spoiler. He's got 3 Lincolns to choose from.
Wait, like, he lives out of 3 separate cars. He drives them around, like, in tandem.
Like, he goes to the garage and he goes, oh, I'm going to take that one. And there's only one classic. I don't even know the make or model. I should have looked that up. But he only has one OG classic Lincoln, and it's a convertible, and I do believe it's light blue. And I'm like, that is not the Lincoln Lawyer. That's not it. So that's the one thing I was like, okay, come on. Like, you gotta give me the original things for that. But yeah, overall it's pretty good. I think I'm on episode 4 now. Something like that. I'm taking my time. They're 45-minute episodes. They're nice to watch, and then for my upcoming, switching gears.
This one's out.
Well, yeah, but upcoming.
Oh, you're upcoming.
Yes.
I'm looking at your notes here, but yeah.
Are you looking at the top of the list?
Yeah.
Okay, the Black Phone.
Oh yeah.
I heard good things.
I heard fantastic things.
And I am not a horror movie fan at all. I only like a few series, like some of your Conjurings and Insidious. Like, obviously those are pretty good, but I won't go out of my way to look for a horror film. But I saw this trailer and I was instantly reeled in. Like, they got me, and I will be seeing that. That is at the top. I moved it to the top of the list for films because I'm like, I have to see this.
Yeah.
They did a great job at really showcasing, putting together a good trailer. And
do you know, like, the concept?
yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, like the trailer.
But you know about, like, the phone?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. But if you see the trailer, you're going to watch the trailer, you can put together 2 and 2. That,
it's crazy.
The missing kid can hear other missing kids.
Yeah, so taken by the dude with the mask, creepy guy snatching kids, played by Ethan Hawke. Oh, what a beauty Ethan Hawke is. Also in Moon Knight. What a fantastic actor.
Very
like,
true.
Such a creepy... He can do creepy and weird so well. He's such a cool guy. Like, yeah.
Gotta love it. And the trailer, you see the mask, you see the outfit and the vibe that he's giving off, and I'm sold. Like, I'm definitely in.
I'm in on the Black Phone also. I haven't seen that one yet.
There we go. Maybe that'll be our next one.
Yeah, sure.
And then the other one that the trailer I think just dropped a few days ago was Amsterdam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, the trailer didn't give me much. Like, I watched the trailer. It showed some good areas, like, a couple one-liners, whatever, and it kind of built a little bit of a story, not really. But it was more the cast that sells you on that.
Insane cast.
We got Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Rami Malek, Robert De Niro, which, come on, that alone sells tickets. Mike Myers, and there's a few more that are just
nuts.
Yeah, you have a cast like that, everybody's gonna want to see that.
But what do you know the concept of the movie? Like, what is it?
No, I like, to be honest with you, I didn't get much from the trailer, and that could have been just me. I don't know. But I didn't get much from it. Like, I know he is a physician. Christian Bale is a physician with one eye.
With one eye?
Yeah, he's got a fake eye.
I just Googled it. Yeah, he's got one eye.
Yeah, he's got one eye. I didn't get much from it, but I think that's good. Like, I don't really like when trailers give away too much, because then I go into the movie theater already. Like, the Black Phone trailer gave me a lot.
Like, you know what you're getting a hold of.
Yeah, like, that's what, like, again, they got, like, I'm going to go see it, but I know the movie. Like, I know where I can expect certain things. But this one, I don't know, because a very classic drama trailer, but they didn't give away too much.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Cool.
They kind of sold it with the cast. Yeah.
Okay, my 2 futures that I have on here, I got a show and I got a movie. The movie I'll hit first because we saw those trailers, the whole UFC card.
This big.
Right in the little corner, they put the trailer for Jordan Peele's new film, Nope, which I hate the name, personally.
I don't like the name, yeah.
I don't like saying, I've never said the word nope in my life because... Do you hear that? Yeah. Nope. It's such a lame word. Anyways.
Yep.
I mean,
the trailer didn't do anything either.
The trailer didn't do too much for me, but I do like alien stuff, and I'm into it.
There you go.
The cast looks great. and Jordan Peele has done nothing wrong so far. Get Out was like one of my top 3 movies of the year. Us was definitely like a top tier horror for the year when I saw it. Like a great movie theater experience for both of them.
Yep.
So like I'm in.
Yep.
I'll watch it for sure, but it's gonna be I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting into.
All right. Well, we'll find out. We'll see it shortly. I'm assuming. So I guess that covers it for kind of like what our entertainment has been lately. Kind of did a good deep dive there.
We got a lot of segment ideas that we could do in the future. I think we cut it this time because we're going pretty long.
Sure.
Do you want to do your headline quick? Cause headlines are.
We'll finish off. Yeah.
We both work. We mentioned it briefly, but we both work in news.
To a degree, yeah. I work in news to a degree. Yep.
And I work directly in news.
Yeah,
you work in sports and also news and stuff. But
yeah.
Like we come across a lot of crazy headlines and like more like trending stuff. So I don't know. We'll gather some crazy headlines that we see throughout the week and present them. What do you have? I see you have 2. Do you want to go first?
Well, first I should have put this in entertainment, but I didn't want to skip past James Caan passes away today.
Yeah, James Caan.
Oh man, that was super sad. I don't know if you know him by name, but if you don't know him by name, he played Sonny in Godfather. You'd know him from The Thief, Misery, Elf, and one of my personal favorites growing up, Las Vegas.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think that was with Josh Duhamel.
Have not seen that one.
Oh, I have the whole series on DVD.
Oh, it's a show.
Oh, it's a show.
It's a hell of a show.
I think it was like 2005 to like 2009, something like that, but full of early 2000s cheese, and he plays the head of security. And it was great, and I just remember like staying up because it was on at 10 o'clock. I forget what day it was, like Thursday nights or something, and I remember just begging my parents, and then eventually that just turned into a routine. So hit me a little hard today because I watched that whole show growing up, so I was a little sad. I even, like I said, what out loud when I saw it. I was like, and I had no idea he was 83, 84.
Yeah,
so
not young.
Good career. I mean, it's always tough, but hey, we got all his work to watch again.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. And then now into the headline that I found today.
Yeah, what did you find?
Dude, so Toyota, the car company, is having some electric vehicle problems.
Okay.
Now, if I had to ask you, what would an electric vehicle car company be struggling with? You would say
the battery.
Correct.
Yeah.
You would say the batteries. If you're Tesla, you'd say the self-driving. Whatever. Sure. You would say some different stuff. Toyota recalled almost 3,000 cars due to the fact of a risk that the wheels would fall off. After low mileage use, all of the hub bolts on the wheels would come loose to the point where they could detach and result in a crash. Thanks.
Naturally.
Or loss of control of the vehicle by a statement of Toyota today.
So,
could you imagine?
Get these cars off the road, man.
Could you imagine? Hey, I got a great idea for a car. It's going to be electric. One small problem. The wheels are going to fall off.
Who needs wheels when you got electricity, baby?
You can't drive it. And then to add a little salt in the wound, I kept reading. They kind of put this deeper into the article. Toyota pledged $35 billion, I do believe it was, to EVs in the future. They kind of put a number pledge.
Like electric vehicles?
Yeah, the word pledge doesn't mean you did it.
I pledged the money.
I didn't want to say that.
I pledged the money.
But the word pledge means you want to do something. So if you're going to make this pledge that, we're going to put all this money into our EVs, you might want to make sure the wheels go round and round and round.
Yeah.
Just a quick note. I saw that article and I cried. I thought that was hilarious. You released a brand new model and you forgot to check the wheels? Who?
It's like F1 halfway through a pit stop, take it off. It's
brutal. Hey, see what happens. All right. So they're putting out an advisory saying don't drive that model car, obviously.
How are they supposed to get it back to the
so
the wheels are going to fall off.
Yeah, so you're going to have to call the tow truck. They're going to have to call it the flatbed. But and then they were comparing to GM and other places had to do recalls on their electric vehicles. I think actually the GM one was because they were catching fire. Could be wrong, but do believe so.
That is
But
pretty
I expect
serious.
that with batteries. It happens. I don't expect the wheels to fall off the car. So anyway, that was my funny headline for today. So.
My headline, you definitely saw this.
Okay.
It was a gentleman, Kevin Ford, 60 years old, working at a BurgerKing in McCarran, Vegas airport. He'd been working there for 27 years. This 60-year-old man, Kevin Ford, 27 years without missing a shift.
Without missing a shift. I did not hear that part.
Without missing a shift.
Wow.
And as a form of repayment for his dedication and service to the king of burgers, the company gave him a care package.
Beautiful.
Consisting of a movie ticket, a Starbucks cup, candy, pens, a string backpack.
After 27 years?
27 years.
I saw the GoFundMe link,
So,
but I didn't read into it.
That's my part 2 of my story here. Initially, he got screwed over. He made this TikTok where he was talking about how happy he was to receive such a crappy gift. He's like, "Oh, it's great. I love Burger King. Get me a Whopper or whatever." I don't know. Man. But basically, he made a nice video where he's like, "This is what I got. 27 years." Someone posted it. 2 million views on TikTok.
Wow.
Which that app's ridiculous, but 2 million views on TikTok. And they started a GoFundMe, and originally the GoFundMe was started by his daughter, and the goal was to raise $200 so he could see his grandkids. He could take some time off to go see his grandkids.
$200.
Which I guess are out of town.
Okay. So that would cover what? Like the bus ticket or something?
Or something like that.
Yeah, whatever. Sure.
$350K later.
Wow.
And he's got all this money.
Sure.
He's living it up.
I guess he can retire.
Well, he said that he just put the money away. A lot of it's going to his granddaughter's college funds, and every day is just another day of work.
Wow.
For Kevin Ford, what a man.
Wow, what a wholesome human.
Yeah.
Good for him. I mean, a lot of people would take that money and just leave.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I would do that.
But 27 years, obviously you got to love your job. You got to love dealing with customers. And I'm not a customer service person, so I got to respect people that can do that.
I love my goddamn Whopper so much.
Hey, and whatever makes them happy. I'm glad because I saw the GoFundMe link and I was like, oh, that's interesting, but I didn't read the description. So that's crazy.
Yeah, insane.
A Starbucks cup and candy.
And pens.
You're going to work for someone for 27 years without missing a shift? Hey, here's a pen.
Ridiculous. But yeah, I read that headline and I
Wow.
Obviously the initial headline there that he got such a crappy bag, yeah. I was like, man, like that sucks. That's the draw-in. And then you get that nice story, he gets a bunch of money and people raise the money for him. That's great. That was great.
I do like that. I like that. Especially when they're he's an older gentleman. I shouldn't say older, but
Yeah, he's not young.
Sure. Good for him.
Hard worker.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him.
But I think that's all for today.
I think so. On that, that's a good note to end on. Everyone goes home happy.
Yeah, sure. Everyone goes home happy except for Charles Leclerc, who's crying, but
now I'm gonna cry.
So we got our sports in, we got some entertainment, give you something to watch. And nice headlines, something in the news going on.
And next week we'll have more.
More to talk about, more sports, more shows. I'm always watching. We're always keeping up to date.
Yep.
Helping you guys do it too. So make sure you give us a listen. If you're a big fan, from the first episode, you listen to us once and you're like, God damn, those young men seem so handsome and so entertaining and funny. Give us a follow. We're going to have an Instagram. The Instagram is made. CORNERMEN Podcast. YouTube, CORNERMEN Podcast.
Subscribe.
So like and subscribe, baby. Subscribing is free on YouTube.
It is free.
I hear you're supposed to say that.
It is free. I did hear too. It feels weird kind of saying it for the first time, but it is free, I guess.
So give us a follow, download and subscribe, and tune on in next time to the CORNERMEN. I don't think we even said the name of the podcast.
I don't think we did at the beginning.
CORNERMEN, baby. Woo!